Hello, boys and girls. On today's selection, we will be focusing on retelling a story, and setting in a story. When you retell, you describe what happens in a story in order. Pretty much, boys and girls, when you retell a story, you're summarizing it and you're telling us what happens at the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, and what happens at the end of the story. When summarizing a story, boys and girls, we would use words like first, this happened in the story. Next, or then this happened in the story. And then last, this happened in the story. And we would stop. When summarizing to help us retell, you use your own words. You use your own words to tell us what happened in each one. What happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end by using these transitional words. You use words and pictures to help you understand and be able to retell the story by using your own words. Tips. Pictures are a big clue to help us understanding the story as it goes on, as it develops throughout the story. It's very important, boys and girls, to be able to understand and comprehend as you're reading, to look for beginning, middle, and end of a story. Okay, boys and girls, as we continue with our setting now, with our story, Dan has a plan, we will also be focusing on the setting right here. Now, setting, boys and girls, is very important when reading a story. When reading a story, we should always look at the setting as well, because setting can tell us two things. The setting can tell us where and when. Where does the story happen? And when does the story take place? Now, as the story develops, boys and girls, you always want to know, where does the story happen? Sometimes where it's taking place, settings can change, boys and girls. Sometimes the story can be taking place in a forest, in a house, or even a castle, or around the world. So settings throughout the story can change, boys and girls. And we can ask ourselves by getting clues from the story, we can find out where the story is at by looking at pictures, the surroundings around the book. What is the author trying to tell us? When does the story take place? Stories, boys and girls, can take place at night, can take place during the day, or they can even take place throughout different seasons. So stories or settings, they don't really have to stay the same place where or when throughout the same. They can change. Ask yourself, why is the setting important to the story? It's important because characters can probably change as the setting develops as well. What are they doing? Why are they there? What's happening in the story? What is the character doing? So it's very important for us to understand that setting, boys and girls, is very important to the part, or is important when reading a story. As we move along, boys and girls, we come with our vocabulary words. Vocabulary words are very important when reading a story. Let's look at our first word. Mess. Mess. The word mess, boys and girls, can mean something that is not neat. If you look at the little girl right here in the picture, boys and girls, we see that she is making some flour tortillas with a rolling pin. And she has lots of flour all over her table. So I can tell that the word mess doesn't mean very clean. It's dirty. It's not neat. So it's messy here. She gets flour all over her hands maybe, and even on her clothes. And all over her countertop is flour. So mess, boys and girls, if something is a mess, it is not neat. Example, Sonia makes a mess in the kitchen when she bakes. I know some of us have been messy before, and it's normal, especially when we're learning in classroom together. If we use glues or crayons or cutting, we make a mess, right? But we have to clean it up at the end when we're done using it. It'll go back to being neat. Our next vocabulary word, repeat after me. Market. Good job. Market. On our picture right here, we see some people, right? And around the place, we see lots of vegetables. I see some carrots. I see some pumpkins. More pumpkins in the back. Some apples, maybe. Some squash. Different types of veggies and fruit. This word, boys and girls, can probably be familiar to some of you, because I know I like to go to these places on Sundays, and it's called La Pulga. And La Pulga, boys and girls, kind of like a market. You have all these type of vegetables and fruits that people buy. Okay? And that's what it is here. A market, boys and girls, is a place where people can buy things. Kind of like a store, or more like an outdoor store. They can buy things. This market offers shoppers a variety of fruits and vegetables to buy. So there's different types of fruits. Instead of going to HEB, we can go to a market to buy what we need. Our next vocabulary word. Repeat after me. Sell. Good job. Sell. Now sell, boys and girls. I think I know what the word sell means. If you look at our picture right here, we have two little girls, and they have like a little stand. It says lemonade on top. She has a pitcher of lemonade, some cups, a table, some fresh lemons, and she has a sign that says $1. I wonder what she's doing. Anybody know? Correct. She is selling her lemonade to her, and she is buying lemonade. She is going to give her the money for a cup of lemonade, which is $1. So she sells. She sells. Sell, boys and girls, would be considered a verb. A verb. Okay, it describes what she's doing, the actions she's doing. When you sell something, you give it to someone who gives your money for it. So in the picture, we saw the little girl giving the one that's selling the $1 for a cup of lemonade. The children sell lemonade to people in their community. Oh, the word community. We've been learning about our community this week. My family, my community, how it is special and important to us. Our next vocabulary word. Repeat after me. Help. Good job. Help. I think some of us might know what the word help is. Do you know? Good job. Help, boys and girls. Here on this picture, we see a little girl, and probably I think this man can be her dad. And I see her helping her dad wash or clean dishes. We help each other. Have you ever helped out your mom or your dad? Help, boys and girls, is a verb also, because help is an action word. What is she doing here? She's helping. She's helping. When you help, you make it easier for someone to do something. So sometimes your parents can ask you, can you please help me clean your room? Because sometimes parents, mom and dad, can be tired, or they have so much to do that by you helping, boys and girls, can make their job easier for them, and it's something less for them to do. So I hope you're being a helper. Simone likes to help her, Simone likes to help her dad by drying the dishes. She likes to help out. That's the word help. Our next vocabulary word, neighbors. Neighbors. Do you know what the word neighbors is, boys and girls? Well, here on this picture right here, I see lots of people waving to each other. Looks like they're in their own home here because she's sitting in her balcony and they're on their balcony. Neighbors. You're right. People that live next door to you are your neighbors. You can consider them also friends because you talk to each other every day, or you see them, or we can play with them outside after school, right, with your neighbors. So neighbors are people, boys and girls. Right here we see them. They're sitting down. They live right next door to each other. Your neighbors are the people who live near you. Example, we are friends with our neighbors. Are you friends with your neighbors, boys and girls? Okay. Our next vocabulary word, set. Repeat after me. Set. Good job. What do we see here? I see some people putting up a tent. I see lots of trees in the background. They're probably in a forest or something. I wonder what they're doing. A sleeping bag? What could they be doing out here in the woods? Putting up a tent. They're probably camping, right? Camping. So set, I see them setting up. I see them putting it up so they can sleep in. You have to set up your stuff by helping each other out. Everybody does something. So set, boys and girls, when you set something up, you make it so that it is useful. So they're setting up a tent because they're going to sleep there at night. So in order for you to sleep there, you have to set it up. Example, we worked together to set up the tent. When you work together, boys and girls, it makes your job much easier. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, boys and girls, prepare to read. Done had a plan. Before you read, boys and girls, you always look at the genre of the story. What kind of story is this? This story, boys and girls, this selection is a realistic fiction. Do you know what a realistic fiction is or remember? Realistic means real, and fiction means it's made up. So realistic fiction stories are made up but could happen in real life. You look for characters who have problems that real people have or might. Places that seem real. So right here, boys and girls, on our cover title right here of our page, our front book, we have an illustration of a little boy. We know he is a made-up character because he's an illustration. When it's realistic fiction, that means maybe the events can happen. But this story here, the author made it up. It did not happen in real life. Use it on purpose as well, boys and girls, because you're going to read to understand events in the beginning, middle, and end. Look for details in the words and pictures to help you. Retell the event in your own words. So when you're summarizing beginning, middle, and end, you're going to use words like first this happened in the story, then or next this happened in the story, and last this happened in the story. And you use your own words, boys and girls, and looking at pictures and clue words are going to help you summarize your beginning, your middle, and your end. Power words. the word mess, market, sell, help, neighbors, and set. These words we've already reviewed in our prior slide. These words, boys and girls, will be in our story. So let's pay attention close to those words as we get ready to read the story. Our title of the story is Dan Had a Plan by Wong Herbert Yi. Okay, this is our front cover of the book. And on the front cover, I see some butterflies, some more butterflies, and a little boy, our character, Dan. So that's already giving us some clues maybe about what the story might be about. Titles give you clues, boys and girls, as well as pictures around there. Okay, our first page, boys and girls. Hi, Dan, said Kim. Can you see my bugs and bats? I see a big mess, said Dan. We will go to the farmer's market. We will sell the bugs and bats. The money is for new library books. Okay, boys and girls, so then at the beginning of the story, we have a character. His name is Dan. Dan is talking to Kim. I think Kim is his sister, probably. Okay, and what does she have all over the table? Yes, bugs and bats. Bugs and bats. And they're going to be what? At the market? Market's one of your vocabulary words as well. Selling. They're going to be selling them at the market. Good job. Next page. I like bugs and bats, said Dan. I like books. Can I help? You are too little, said Kim. Dad and the neighbors set up. Hi, kids, said Dan. Okay. Boys and girls, so here they're getting ready to leave. Remember, they're getting ready to go to the market to sell their bugs and bats. What happens here with Dan? What did Dan ask him? You're right. He said if he could help. What did Kim tell him? You are too little. Good job. Okay. So now they're at the market here, and the neighbors set, vocabulary words, neighbors set up. So that means they set up by putting their table with a little umbrella to put their bats and bugs for people to see. So they're able to what? Sell. Good job. Next page. Hi, Sam, said Dan. Hi, said Sam. Can I buy a bat? Did you see the big sign? Asked Dan. Dan had a plan. We can help, said Dan. So, boys and girls, now who is Dan talking to? What is this character's name? Sam. Good job, Sam. Sam is his friend, right? What did he want to buy? Right, a bat. A bat. A bat. Good job. Okay. Now over here we see that Dan had a what? Good job. And that's our title, right? Dan had a plan. Let's see what kind of plan they're going to do, him and Sam. Buy a bug, said Dan. Buy a bat, said Sam. It is good, asked Tim. It is great, said Sam. Tim ran to buy a bat. Oh, so I see what they're doing, boys and girls. They're helping. Dan and Sam are helping who? Who was the one selling? That's right, his sister Kim. Kim was selling to buy books for the library. So they are helping by yelling out, buy a bug, buy a bat, so people can come and buy. Good job. So we see people here coming and buying. Next page. Can I buy a bug? Asked Pam. You can, said Dan. Many neighbors had bugs and bats. So what happened? Yes, more people started to come to buy a bug now. We have more characters coming along. And he's helping by having more people help buy. You see? There's a line. There's more people coming to buy bugs and bats because all the money they're doing is to help them for what? To help them for the books for the library. Good job. Remember to be remembering what's happening in the middle of the story, in the middle, and at the end for retelling. Next page. Kim had the last one. Dan was sad. You are little, said Kim. You are a big help too. Oh, so look at Sam. Why do you think he was sad? Dan, I'm sorry. Why do you think Dan was sad? Maybe, right? Because there was no more bugs and bats to sell. And he wanted to help who? Remember, he's helping Kim. So at the end over here on this page, Kim, why is he happy now? You see how he's changed his emotions? Right now, you see, she gave him a bug, right? For being very, very helpful because she was able to sell all her stuff. That was nice of him, right, boys and girls? The new books are at the library. We did it, said Dan and Sam. So all the money that that Kim raised, boys and girls, she bought new books for the library. And Dan and Sam had a lot to do with it because they were very helpful. They helped their community by raising money so the library, the public library, could have books for them to read for more children. So you see, they did a good thing for their community. They had people come to buy the bugs and bats that Kim made so she could raise money for that. Good job. So as we come to the ending of the story, boys and girls, remember it's really important for us to know what happened at the beginning of the story. What happened at the middle of the story. Beginning, the middle, and in the end of the story. So let's go back a little bit further and see if we're able to retell the story. So in the beginning, boys and girls, we do see that Kim is putting together her what? Good job. She's putting together her bats and her bugs. And she has a mess all over because she wants to sell them at the market. Good job. So that's what happened at the beginning, right? First, Kim was going to sell at the market. Next, boys and girls, we can say, what can you say? What can you infer from this? Good job. Dan and Sam had a plan to help them, right? To help them sell. Good job. And we can conclude at the end, boys and girls, that they did. Dan and Sam helped them sell the bugs and the bats to help them raise the library books that they needed to raise for money. So when you read, boys and girls, you always ask questions before, during, and after to help you comprehend, and also remember the retelling of the story. What happened what happened first, next, and last. I hope you enjoyed the story, boys and girls. Okay, boys and girls. So we've come to our ending of reading our selection, Dan Had a Plan. With that said, boys and girls, our activity will be based on this right here. And in the middle of our activity, we have a hand. Just like your hand, boys and girls. So look at your hand right now. Okay? Each finger in the hand represents something about the story. This is called 5-finger retelling because you will be retelling the story with the help of your little fingers. Our thumb will be our characters. Who were our characters or the main characters in the story? Then we have our second finger right here, which is about setting. When did the story take place? Where did the story take place? Okay, let's think hard. Where did the story take place? Where were they at? Our middle finger, the beginning of the story. What happened at the beginning of the story, boys and girls? Okay. Our second to the last finger. In the middle, what happened in the middle of the story, boys and girls? What happened in the middle? What were the main events? Kind of like the most important part of the story. And our pinky, our last finger, what happened at the end of the story, boys and girls? What happened? Were any problems resolved? What happened at the end? So when you're able to retell, boys and girls, by using all of this, you have retold the story in your own words. Remember, when you retell, you use your own words, boys and girls. Beginning, middle, and end can also be like first, next, and last. Okay? I hope you have fun with this activity, boys and girls.